Dee, who works at Zion National Park. Such a beautiful place to work, has an even more beautiful story of how she fought breast cancer and fought like a champ, and wants everyone to know that it is doable. Lead by her example when she gets the cancer ribbon eyewear. This is model number Pray for the Cure in purple. It comes with a pink ribbon on the temple and temple tip of both sides of the frame. And of course it comes with a polarized magnetic clip-on, so that when she's out there in the national park she can clip that on there. And of course this is the model number Pray for the Cure. Comes in a 52 eye size, 18 bridge, 145 temple length. And of course this is a brand that I created, Cancer Ribbon Eyewear, designed in USA by me. Well, okay, in full honesty, designed by my wife, who had lost 7 of her 8 aunts to breast cancer, and it had been such a devastating effect on her family. I came out with Christian eyewear. I can pull mine off, that has a cross. You can get it with a silver or a gold cross on each temple. And then halfway through the project my wife said, well, if you can put a cross on the side, can you put a pink ribbon, because she would like to make tribute to her family. And before I go any further, I'd like to say that this website is dedicated to my mother, who gave me life, and to my wife, who filled it with meaning. So let me go ahead and begin by taking out the original demo lenses. Put this frame into the tracing element of my blocker. I'm going to assign this frame a barcode so that years from now, Dee, should you ever need new lenses for these frames, I can cut them, mail them right to your home, and I'm going to show you how you can put them in yourself. You are Secret Agent 3085. I'm going to hit the start button. A little stylus is going to pop up, go around, trace the inside bevel of the right side of the frame before doing the same thing on the left. Excuse me, here at Cancer Ribbon Eyewear, a company devoted to the awareness and support of all cancers. Essentially, I'm your home to free prescription lenses. When you buy any frame from me, you'll receive 1 free pair of clear, single vision prescription lenses or non-prescription fashion lenses. My receipt has my federal ID tax number, so if you have vision insurance or unused health savings account flex dollars, you will get reimbursed for this purchase, whether they're prescription or not. Now, you'll get the full reimbursement from your health savings account flex dollars. I do not accept any vision insurance plans, but I can submit to you, upon request, an itemized receipt that you can submit to your insurance company to get your out-of-network reimbursement for these frame and lenses. So that is the shape that I'll be cutting. I'm going to move on to the next screen. I need to enter your pupillary distance, which is 28.5 for each eye. The computer starts at 32.5, so I'm going to tap the minus button till we get down to 28.5. I want to raise the optical center height up to 25. Change the layout screen from single vision to progressive. Now these are your Zeiss lenses, labeled right and left. I'm going to take the right lens out of the packet. It comes with little dots on the lens to tell me that it's oriented in there just perfectly. And before I get started, I need to attach these to your lens while they are cutting. This is a block, or as I like to call it, Jenny from the block. I need to attach this to your lens by using 2 double-sided adhesive stickers. The black side is the sticky side. I'm going to stick that onto the first block. Do the same thing now for the second one. Pull the paperweight to make the black side sticky. Now that silver button on the back is a magnet. It's going to do its job twice. The first time it's going to attach itself to another magnet there in the arm. Get everything laid out just so. And hit that button. The arm's going to come down, place the block onto the right lens. And the nice thing about Zeiss, they document everything. So I always like to highlight so you know you're getting the authentic product. These are the Zeiss Light D. D stands for Digital Freeform Progressive. The 1.59 is the refractive index of polycarbonate, which is the material the lenses are made out of. Your prescription reads plus 50, minus 1 at 120. You have 3 diopters of base, which one is this? Base N Prism. And your bifocal strength is 250. So, go ahead and do the same thing now for the left. Now, speaking of Prism, what that does, Prism adds thickness to one side. If you think of a pyramid, Prisms have a base and an apex. The thickest part of the lens is actually where it is in. This is base in, so the thickest part is going to be in towards the nasal area, which is the opposite of most lenses. But Prism helps with double vision, with muscular issues. The light is drawn towards the prism that comes into the lens, but it redirects the image towards the apex. So she has an eye that has a tendency to turn inward, but that causes the image to look outward, and so she can see it straight ahead. So let me do the same thing over here. Pull the paper away to make the black side sticky, line up that magnet. What's the pupillary distance for the left eye? It happens to be the same for the right, so the left side has mirrored what the right lens data is. I don't have to change that or the optical center height. I'm going to get everything laid out. I already put the sticker on there. Get everything queued up perfectly. And hit that button. The arm's going to come down, place the block onto the left lens. Now I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to highlight the areas of your prescription for the left lens. By the way, these have DuraVision Chrome. That's what the little short one is right there. The prescription, the amount of prism, the direction of the prism base in, and the amount of the bifocal strength. Now, this is for your own personal copy. This is for your medical records. If you go back to your doctor and they casually ask you what you're wearing, hand them this. Say, Doc, I am wearing the Zeiss Progressive Light D, and I can verify it. Again, same thing that's on your lenses, the top packet, the Zeiss Progressive Light D, 18, which is the corridor length, the refractive index. The prescription for the right eye is this bottom line, same for the prism. For the left eye, your prescription is there, prism amount, the direction of the prism, the strength of the bifocal, your pupillary distance for the right and left eye, the fitting height of the progressive, and the base curve of the lens, because hyperopes tend to be a little bit more sensitive for the base curve. Now with this information, by the way, if you guys missed any of that, let me recap. Oh, it's a bad joke, but you'll be telling it tomorrow. The dots that I had on the lenses, it tells me where to orient it, are the laser engravings that Zeiss puts on there for you so that your doctor's office, they can dot it up, as it's referred to. There's a layout chart, so after they dot it up, they can see where the optical centers of your eye are and where everything is sitting. Because these are digital freeform lenses, it has a compensated power. Progressive lenses are called that. It starts at the top and progressively gets stronger and stronger as you go down towards the bottom. So you have the compensation powers for the distance, the intermediate, and the near, and it tells you where to read all of that information at your doctor's office. I love Zeiss. They document everything for your medical records. Keep this. That way you'll know whether your prescription changes over the years. And to show you how good this magnet is, look at it stick to the metal of that case. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Now I'm starting off with the pink ribbon, but I'm going to be adding more and more colors. White for lung cancer, gray for brain cancer. I'm going to come out with a pair of kids glasses with the gold ribbon for pediatric cancer. And for every pair of cancer ribbon sold, I will donate a pair to children who are battling pediatric cancer here in my hometown of Durham, North Carolina. I will donate frames to the Duke Pediatric Cancer Center. If I get more sales than that, I'll go to St. Jude's. I'll go to the Jimmy V Foundation, wherever I can find a kid, because chemo and radiation, that's why Dee has, she tells me she has the prism in her glasses. Chemo and radiation affect eyesight. Now a kid could be 20/20, but when he starts treatment, your eyesight changes. And so I'll never cure cancer, but I want it to be, I can still do my part, however. So I want to be able to donate glasses to the kids going through that. So it's one less thing for the parents to worry about while their kids are fighting for their life. And this has been a great project for me. No one can kick me when I'm feeling down like I can. All it takes is to walk down the hallways of the pediatric cancer ward and see a child fighting for their life. And it puts my little tiny problems in perspective. I put on my big boy pants, go do what I need to do. And you can learn a lot by a child, especially a child fighting for their life. So whatever problems you think you have in your daily life, just go spend some time at a pediatric cancer ward, and that'll put your life in perspective and realize just how good a life you really have. No matter, everyone wants to complain about 2020 that it sucks, and there's some valid points to that. Go look at life through the eyes of a child, and you'll realize that if you made it this far in life with everything you have going, even Dee, everything she went through, and she told me how difficult it has been for her, but that's why she is a champion. She has fought like a champion and beat it. And she wants everyone to know and lead by example that they are not alone, that anyone who sees her wearing these, she's more than happy to give them a hug, put the arm around them and say, hey, we'll get through this together. If I can do it, you can do it. We can all lead by example. And kindness is free. Go and be kind to anyone, because you literally, it's an old saying, but you don't know what someone's going through. So, this is the tracer, this is the blocker, this is what's known as the edger. It weighs 200 pounds, it costs $40,000. I recommend everyone go out and buy their own, put it on your kitchen counter, then you can cut your own lenses at home, and you won't need this guy with the two thumbs and the bad jokes to do it for you. But this is the cutting wheel. It's going to act like a heavy grit sandpaper to grind away your lens material from this size to, actually let's grab the right lens, to this size. This wheel in the center is going to put the V-shaped bevel onto the lens so it stays inside the bevel of the frame. Now I need to transfer all the data from here that I just programmed over to here. So I'm going to wake the computer up. Job ID number 3085. 3085, or as I like to call it, installment 3085 of my 330 million volume series of making a pair of glasses for everyone in America. So stay tuned for episode number 330 million. Spoiler alert, something crazy is going to happen. Actually, it's not going to be that crazy. I'm going to be tired. I'm going to need a nap. I'm just going to sit down. Episode number 330 million. So these are polycarbonate lenses. If they were plastic, high index plastic, or Trivex, I would select that material, but we're going to stick with polycarbonate because it's my lens material of choice. I'm not going to polish the edge of the lens because it's not going to be seen in this frame. I'm not going to put a safety bevel on the front convex surface of the lens, but I am going to put a safety bevel on the back concave surface, and I'll explain why I'm doing that later. Essentially, it's just going to smooth everything out. And now I'm going to press the sticker on there firmly, place the magnet into the chuck, or as I like to call it, the Charles, because I just don't know this machine well enough to call it Chuck. Did I mention free bad jokes with the purchase of every pair of glasses? So we're going to move on and hit the green start button. The door closes, the dirty door that needs to be cleaned right there. Not so much here, more so there. But the clamp shuts. The lens is going to be traced by two white styluses, making sure it's large enough to fit into the frame. And you can see as it's going around tracing the shape, you can see the thickness of the lens at the prism area. And then the old carpenter saying, measure twice, cut once, is measuring the thickness of the lens at every point to know exactly and precisely where to place the bevel so you have the least amount of edge thickness showing. Now the light you see flickering in the background is water to catch the optical sawdust. Polycarbonate lenses cut dry, where plastic, high index plastic, and Trivex cut wet, meaning that water sprays onto those lenses for the duration of the cutting cycle. Now water will spray onto these lenses, but only for the last 20 seconds to wash away any optical debris that you may see beginning to form on your lenses. But as I mentioned, your lenses are made out of polycarbonate, which is 40% thinner and lighter than regular plastic. They're virtually unbreakable. These are high impact, ballistics grade lens material. The same lens material that our soldiers wear overseas in combat zones to protect their eyes from shrapnel and from flying debris. It has 100% UVA and UVB protection built into the lens. We know what the sun's harmful ultraviolet rays can do to your skin, where your eyes are 8 times more sensitive than your skin. So unlike the lotions, creams, and sprays that have to be reapplied every couple hours when you're in direct exposure to the sun there in Zion National Park there in Utah, this is permanent and never needs to be reapplied. Now if you notice, your lens is completely flat around the edges like a nickel. If I were to take it out now, it would stand up on its own. It's just about to drop down on the bevel wheel to get the V-shaped bevel. Now Zeiss has partnered with the American Cancer Society because they offer the most complete UV protection of any lens company. Their protection goes all the way up to 400 nanometers of light, where all the other labs stop at 380. So that's the other reason I use Zeiss, is before the cancer ribbon eyewear, because it's the only company that has partnered long-term, not a short-term partnership, with the American Cancer Society. And a portion of all these proceeds will go to a cancer-related cause, for research or donations to the children's glasses. Now you have the DuraVision Chrome Anti-Glare. On here, anti-glare is 3 coatings in one. Well, 3 treatments. The first treatment, it reduces glare when driving at night, particularly driving at night in the rain, but from street lights, stoplights, computer screens, overhead fluorescent lights and such. It also reduces reflection. So when someone's looking at you, they're not looking at their reflection in your glasses, so it makes for much better eye contact. Or if you take a selfie, you're less likely to see the phone in the lens. Or if someone takes a picture with the flash, you're less likely to see that. Now, the third feature, which is the practical side, the machine that applies the anti-glare coating costs well over $1 million. It takes over 24 hours to vaporize 8 different coatings onto your lens. So because of the time and the expense, they put the industry's hardest scratch coating on there to protect your time and investment. So I'm going to dry everything off here, get a little bit of the optical sawdust that's left on the lens. Now you can really see the prism, how it's thicker than nasal area. Now most nearsighted people who are myopes, the thickness is on the outside of the lens and it's thinner at the nasal area. It's the opposite because of the prism that is in this frame. So in order to install new lenses, I have the side I'm working on closest to me. I tuck it in at the outside corners, push down, actually let's put the thickest area in first, where the prism's at, then push down the corners. It snaps right in, so we can go ahead and start cutting the left lens. Flip that over to L. Place the magnet into the Chuck, the Charles, the Chucky baby. Or today I'm calling it the D. Hit the green start button, just like before. The door closes, the clamp shuts. The lens is going to be traced again by the 2 white styluses, making sure that it's large enough to fit into the left side of the frame. And you can see as it's going around tracing the shape of the left side. And again, measuring the thickness at all points of the circumference to know where to place the bevel so you have the least amount of edge thickness showing. And look at that D, you got nothing, you got no edge thickness there. All you got on the side is that beautiful pink ribbon. So let's go ahead and take this block off, pull the sticker away, use my hand-approved drying method, throw that back in there, add to my sticker collection. We're going to dry everything off. Go over here to the black dot, read the power. Ooh, I'm all the way over that. Spin the axis wheel to 120, which corresponds to your astigmatism correction. And I am getting 3 diopters base. Actually, you know what? I have to move this because I have to go to the prism reference point. And I'm getting 3 diopters base in prism with the power of +50. Now, I'm exactly halfway between 0 and 1 in the plus numbers, not the red minuses, but the black plus numbers. I'm at 0.5, halfway away from 0, going towards 1. That's because the unit of measurement we use in the optical world is called a diopter, spelled D-I-O-P-T-E-R. Starts at 0 and goes up in quarter increments from there, 0.25, 0.50. So you're on the second rung of a ladder. Your right lens magnifies. You are far-sighted in your right eye, nearsighted in your left. That's why there's a minus sign, but you need 2 steps of magnification. Now, once everything is magnified to the correct size, you have a full diopter, an additional 4 steps of astigmatism correction. Uncorrected astigmatism makes 6s and 8s look alike, or the letters P and F. Think of it as the fine-tune knob. We're going to turn that fine-tune knob to 120, a straight line is 0 to 90 to 180. We're going to go just past the 90 meridian to about 120. Now, your left eye, you need 2 full diopters. Well, actually, let me check the second power. So, you have one curve this way, a +50. You have a steeper curve 90 degrees away. That is the full diopter, your astigmatism correction. And when we measure that, we're at -50. So we were just above the black, into the black numbers over 0. We're halfway down into the red minus numbers. That's because, let's say you had 50 cents, but you owed somebody $1. You'd be 50 cents in the red. That's where we're at, 0.50 in the red. Now your right eye, your left eye, 2 full diopters. You have antimetropia, unlike signs. You also have anismetropia, A-N-I-S, which is great enough difference between the 2 eyes that causes blurred vision or different image size. So you're 2.5 diopters apart between your right eye and your left eye. Now again, you have 3 diopters of base in prism. Again, the prism helps with eye fatigue. Without it, you get the double vision. When we put the prism in there, And you probably could need 6 diopters in one eye, but the doctors like to split it, so they gave you 3 diopters base in on your right, 3 diopters base in on your left. So, but you have 2 full diopters of nearsighted correction for the left eye, and then additional 3/4 diopter of astigmatism correction. So let's make sure the left lens fits. Dry everything off. Oh, by the way, the reason why I put the safety bevel on the back of the lens and not the front is not rough. But I want the back of the lens to be very smooth, because should this not fit, even though it will because I designed it to do so, but as you tuck it in and I press down on the lens at the thickest point, if this were large I needed to take it down some more, which I probably won't, but as I press in, I don't want any rough edges of the lens to come in contact with the frame and possibly scratch or dull the finish of the frame. Let me push that in all the way. Oh, all right, you ran away. You didn't want to be in the show anyway. So I'm going to dry everything off. That black dot is still barely visible. Let me darken that so you can see that at home. And again, if you guys missed any of that, let me recap. Well, I don't care if you don't laugh at that joke. I'm going to keep laughing at it. So we're going to put it in just above that dot. I'm going to raise it down actually below that dot to which is the Prism reference point of the layout chart. This is, that dot in the center is the PRP, the Prism reference point. That's where your eyes are going to be looking, but that's where you read the prescription of the Prism. So let's turn the fine tune knob to 77, which corresponds to the astigmatism correction of your left eye. Read the power, and I am getting -2, exactly halfway between 1 and 3. That's where you're going to find 2 at. -2. Your lenses do not magnify but minify. Now you have an additional 3/4 of a diopter of astigmatism correction, and that's where we're going to end up at -275, going away from 2. We are 1 tick mark away from 3. Now this is what's known as final inspection. By the way, I am a licensed optician. I went to opticianry college to do this. I passed the state board exam. I've been an optician in my hometown for 21 years. I've personally cut over tens of thousands of pairs of glasses in my community, and now I can start to cut glasses for people from my online community. I woke up last year and realized I'm just a cover band. I'm putting lenses in other people's songs. Ralph Lauren Polo, Harley Davidson, BMW, Ray-Ban, Oakley, Cazal, more Ray-Bans, Versace. And I realized I'll never be a rock star optician until I write my own songs. And I did that with the Christian Eyewear. Of course, my frame comes with a magnetic clip-on too. But again, my wife said, how about putting a pink ribbon on the side? And I said, you know what, honey, you're right. You're right, you're right, you're always right. So that's what I did. I honored my wife and followed her lead and did that for everyone out there who wanted to represent that. And I've had many people who were Christian who said, I love that you have a Christian cross, but I want to wear the pink ribbon. God helps you with your struggles, but the individual can help another person going through this. It's a very, I've been told, you just don't know how lonely an experience it is when you've been told you have that and having to fight cancer. And that way you can be there for someone else and lead by example. Let me put mine back on so I can see what I'm doing. Now, I do need to measure your pupillary distance of, let's see, 57, which is 28.5, combined, times 2. Optical center height of 25, so I'm going to turn the card around, place the PD stick against my thumb, and when we measure, we're getting 57 millimeters, so that's good. I'm going to measure the height of the optical center. We're getting 25 millimeters, so that is cut perfectly. Now, the reason why I do this is to show you that when you buy glasses online, how do you really know you're getting what your doctor prescribed? I'm showing you this here, providing you with the documentation here that you can take to your doctor and they can verify all that. Now, the last step in the final inspection is to get these in standard alignment. But before I do that, this is the time in every video that as I clean your lenses, I mentioned there's free shipping anywhere in the U.S. and the Utah is still in the U.S. But D, when you get these in the mail, there is a small chance that these could fit too loose or too tight. However, there's an 80% chance that one side is going to sit higher than the other. That's because 80% of people have one ear that is higher than the other, and I'm no different, and I'll show you in just a moment. But because of that statistic, 99% of all optical shops will do free adjustments if you ask them. But I'm going to get them in standard alignment first, also known as a 3-point stance. The 3 points are 1, 2, and the bottom of the frame being 3. I set them on the counter and press down. There is no wobble. Now, when I say wobble, when I take mine off and press down, they wobble on the counter, but they sit level on me. And for those of you keeping score at home, I am wearing the Philippians 4:13. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Again, let me put one back on so I can see what I'm doing. Flip these over, press down, there is no wobble. Close each temple to make sure they overlap perfectly, and they do, that neither temple is askew. Check the tension on each hinge to make sure that they're the same. If one was tighter, I would loosen it. If one was looser, I would tighten it until they're matching. Now, this frame comes in 3 colors: black, tortoise, and purple. All of them come with a polarized magnetic clip-on. The black and the tortoise frame come with a polarized gray lens with a back surface anti-glare. Every frame, the clip, plastic part of the clip matches the frame color, so we have black on black, tortoise with tortoise, and a gray, again, the polarized gray lens. And the purple comes with a brown gradient. Now, you cannot add these. You can see the magnet here on the back of the lens. That is, there's another magnet that is buried. You can see where they heated up the magnet, injected into the frame. And that's why it'll stick to this frame, because the magnet is married to another magnet on the inside there. So, and while supplies last, you can purchase they all come with 1 clip. But while supplies last, you can buy a second clip to keep in a second car. Like, for instance, for my frames, I keep an extra clip in my wife's car, so when I get in her car and we go anywhere, I click these on, and I have prescription polarized sunglasses no matter what car I'm in. And these are only $25. So this frame is $150 complete with the clip-on for single vision lenses. The traditional line style bifocal, which is what this is, sells for $199. The invisible progressive no line bifocal sells for $249 complete. Frame and lenses. Now, Dee did upgrade to the DuraVision Chrome anti-glare, which adds $69 for a total of $318. And she told me that that was the cost of just plastic progressive lenses at her doctor's office. So for that price, she could get the thinner, lighter weight, unbreakable polycarbonate lenses with DuraVision Chrome, the Cancer Ribbon Pray for the Cure eyewear frame with a magnetic polarized clip-on for the same price her doctor's office was going to charge her for plastic lenses that had no UV protection, no scratch coating, none of that. So this is a great value for anyone. Again, I can do any power prescription. It does not matter. Some people are intimidated by Prism. And in fact, truth be told, I didn't even charge Dee for the Prism. I figured there's no point. She's gone through enough. Let me just charge her for the frame and the prescription and for the progressive lenses with the anti-glare, and I'll throw in the Prism for free. So for everything she's done for others and for herself, you know, there is such thing as karma in life. It may be slow coming, but it's coming to Dee now. So if you have any questions, you can go to the Contact Me page of the website. If you just like to type, you can go to info@cancerribboneyewear.com. You can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Well, Facebook is cancer_ribbon_eyewear. Instagram is cancer_ribbon_eyewear. Same for Twitter. And if you have any questions, you can go to the Contact Me page of the website. You can also leave a question or comment in the comment section below. But Dee, who has a beautiful story working at one of the most beautiful places in America, at Zion National Park there in Utah, thank you so much for the purchase of the Pray for the Cure. Now, I wore this frame for 8 years. This is the Ray-Ban 2132 New Wayfarer. I was very influenced by this frame. It's so durable, so comfortable, but what I did is I took the shield off the front. That's that little silver button that not everyone likes. The other thing I did, this comes with a 3-barrel hinge, meaning there's 2 barrels on the temple There's one on the frame front. These are circles, by the way. And when the screw goes in, that makes a 3-barrel hinge. I put a 7-barrel hinge on here. So there's 4 on the temple, 3 on the frame front. When that goes, the screw goes through there. That is extremely strong, extremely durable. Same for the rare earth magnetic clip-on, very strong. These will last you for years. So again, thank you so much for your purchase. Thanks for being a living role model for everyone else who's going through it. And now hopefully everyone else has gotten a chance to see how I bring that loving feeling back to glasses. Thank you.